All right, guys, today I'm going to show you how I've been trimming my beard lately. My beard is on the shorter side of things. That's kind of how I like it. It suits me well for the station I'm at in life right now. And what I like about this particular length is that while it is short, it's just long enough that you cannot see the skin through the beard. So it's kind of a compromise. You know, you have some beards that are really close to the face where you can see the skin through them. Some people like that, some people don't. Sometimes I do that, and sometimes I grow it out longer. But for right now, this is where I'm at. So if you're looking for this style of beard and you want to know how I do it, well, here you go. I'm going to try to give you as much detail as possible. Some people think I talk too much, but I try to be thorough so you have as few questions in your mind as possible at the end of this. But if you do have questions, feel free to ask me, and I will try to respond to you in as timely of a manner as possible. So, all right, this is not dissimilar to some of the other beard trimming tutorials I've made. However, I have made some adjustments to kind of evolve the process. And so those of you who have been watching my videos for a while will be able to spot them. You'll also see the similarities, but it could be, like I said, that you've never seen these before, and I still think this would be very helpful. Now, one of the first things I think you need to do whenever you get ready to start trimming your beard is make sure before you do it that you get yourself a beard bib. I think I've said this before, I'll say it again many times probably. A beard bib is one of the most essential items you can get. Somebody actually gave this to me. It's not like I watched a lot of reviews and found out that this is the best one. They're probably all pretty much the same. This is by Beard King. I got it off of Amazon. I'll leave you the link. It's fairly cheap, but it is a lifesaver. It keeps your station clean. By that I mean your sink area, wherever you're going to be doing this. Hopefully it's not your wife's sink if you have separate ones, but it's going to keep your station clean. And it's also going to keep the hair out of your clothes, at least for the most part. All right. So you unzip it, you unfold it. Well, at least I think of this as the bag regurgitating itself, and you just pull everything out of it. It's all one piece. You just kind of turn it inside out, and you got this like this. Okay. There are suction cups on the edges of it. You take these and you stick them onto the mirror. I don't even wet them. You know, some people wonder if you wet the suction cups. I haven't ever needed to. But you take this bib and you have Velcro at the other end of it to go around your neck. And really, you honestly, they also give you like a hook or something to put in these eyelets right here on the other side. I don't use them, but you can if you want to. I just don't find it necessary. So here we go. I'm going to put this around here. I try to get it as tight as possible so nothing slips through. There we go. And we're set. Now, what I'm going to be using today is a Brio Beardscape. And it's a very versatile beard trimmer. Brio makes several different looking beard trimmers, but I think that they're all the same, basically. Some of your trimmers are black, some are gray and black. This one's white with some gray in it. You can see this pattern. But I like them all. They're just the same. They all do pretty much the same thing. And they have these guards that are double-sided. So you don't have 30 different guards laying around trying to figure out which ones are which ones. And like this one, for example, is a 9mm and a 12mm guard. You just switch sides whenever you want to go to the other one. So I'm not going to be using that one, by the way. What this beard is, basically, is a 15mm beard. Now, I've done this before. Make sure you start off with a clean beard. You can have it washed, conditioned. Make sure it's completely dry. You don't want to cut a wet beard. That doesn't work out very well. You're going to see a lot of problems once it dries. So just take my word for it. Don't cut a wet beard. I've seen barbers do it. I think that's weird. But this is basically a 15mm beard. Okay? So what I do is I take the guard that's marked 15mm on one side and 18mm on the other side. All right? For some reason, Brio only goes up to 18 millimeters. I know that a lot of wall clippers have guards that go all the way up to 25. I wish Brio did that too. Maybe they will someday. Maybe they're listening. That would be a good thing to do. To have 25 millimeter. It's the same as a 1 inch. But I'm going to take this and I'm going to put this on the 15 millimeter side. Always double check your guard. Make sure you put it on the right side. And the way this works here is you have this edge right here on this guard. You just stick the teeth under it like this and just click this into place. Just like that. You know, if it's falling off, you're doing it wrong. So anyway, you can open and close this guard. Let me take this back off so you can see. You can open and close this right here. This is all the way closed and this is all the way open. And it has a couple different clicks there. If you open it all the way up like it is right now, it gives you an extra 1.9 millimeter, okay? So let's just say 2 millimeters. But if you close it all the way, then you're getting, you know, when you put the 15 millimeter on, you're getting 15 millimeters. So that's what I'm gonna stick with. Let's make it simple. Let's keep it all the way closed. Stick the guard on, okay? Here we go. And I use the highest setting on this. You can go higher or lower. Okay, so see that's low. It keeps going low. I'm going to go all the way as high as I can get it. I don't know. I guess I just think that's what I should do. So don't really have any answers beyond that for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start off with this area because this is so short. This is so short on this side. The 15 millimeter is not going to touch it, so I'm not even going to bother with it. I'm just concerned about the goatee area, okay? That's the length I'm going for. And I do kind of just wrap it underneath. When I was doing the V-shaped beard, I don't wrap it underneath, but I'm today. Here you go. So you can tell I've been keeping up with it. I hear a little bit coming off, but just not much. And that's normal if you do a weekly cleanup, which I would suggest if you're keeping a beard on the shorter side, you want to clean it up at least once a week. Okay, so that's why you're not hearing a lot. But I do see little hairs in my beard bib. All right. Now you can just go over that as many times as you want, as long as you have a guard on, it's not hurting. And you can do the math if you want to do different lengths. But like I said, this is just what I'm doing. All right, let me, you know, there's something very satisfying about trimming your beard if you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, it could prove to cause a lot of anxiety. So that's 15 millimeters like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the 9 millimeter. I'm not really going to use it, but I'm going to tell you why I'm using it. Why I'm doing this here. All right. So this one's marked 12 millimeter and 9 millimeter, but on the 9 millimeter side. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the hair on the outside of the goatee area shorter without going too short. Okay. I don't want steps in my beard. Now the 9 millimeter is not going to touch it, but I know there's going to be those of you who say, going from 15 millimeter to 6 millimeters is too risky. Well, it all comes out in the wash. Okay, I'll show you. When I use a 9 millimeter, it's not gonna do anything. Now here's something I do different. You guys have never seen me do this before. All right, I'm actually going to approach the beard by going in like this. Now most of you guys have seen me always go down like this. Very rarely, with the exception of having a super short beard, do I ever shave against the grain. I always go with the grain. But you guys have never seen me do this where I just point the teeth straight in. All right, I'll tell you why I'm doing that in a minute. It just compromised in there. All right, so the 9 millimeters on here. I'm going outside. You know, I kind of start at the top of the mustache and go down here. I mean, I do hear a little bit. There's just hardly anything going on there. Doing that on the outside. But what I really want is a 6 millimeter. I'm just showing you guys that you might get a little something off. It's not going to do much for you. You might think, well, why don't you just go against the grain, with the grain, just like this downwards? Because even at 9mm, I think it would take off more than I want. In fact, I know it would. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 6mm. I'm going to put this on here. This one's marked 3mm and 6mm. I'm putting the 6mm on here. All right, just like that. It's still closed all the way. And I'm going to approach it like this. All right. Let's just open it up all the way just for the sake of doing it. All right. Now I'm going to go straight in like this on the outside of the goatee. You see what I'm saying right here? On the outside, all the way down to the neck. So I hear something coming off at almost 8mm. But I'm going to close it some more. I'm going to take it all the way down to 6. I'm going to come all the way down to the bottom of my beard, on my neck. And I've done this so many times before I've shown you guys this that I'm very confident of this. So I went from 15 in the goatee area, 15 here, to 6mm with the teeth pointing in. Okay, I'm just raking it down. You can do that all the way up to here like this. Just like that. And you're good to go. Now what I do is I take the 3mm that's on the other side of it, and I click that on here, and I go a little bit further up. So you can see I was right here. I'm gonna go up to about right here with this and go down, all right? 3mm. All right, and then I'm going to take the 2mm guard, and this guard is marked number 1. It's not marked 1mm and 2mm. I'm going to put it on the 2mm side, and the trimmer is closed all the way. I'm going to go up even further, up to about right here. Same thing on the other side. And then I'm going to take that off, turn it around, put it on the 1mm side. And I'm going to get up here to the top with, top of the sideburns. Then what I'm going to do, I am going to turn this around against the grain. Just like that, with the 1mm still on. And that looks pretty nice. Now, you might be wondering about, not the neckline yet. Well, yeah, let's go ahead and do the neckline. Let's go ahead and do that. All right. So when your beard's really short, you don't want the neckline too low, but you also can't have it too high because then you have a chin strap beard. I think those look weird. So you want to take your 2 fingers like this, put them above your Adam's apple. This is about what you get. You want to comb this out down here because mine gets kind of wonky. It starts doing whatever it wants to do. And no matter how straight I make this line, eventually it always looks a little weird, a little wonky. So what I do is I go here, about 2 fingers above the Adam's apple, make this line, just mess it up again. And then kind of cut a straight line in across, and then we'll kind of adjust it a little bit. So there you go, about 2 fingers width right there. I wouldn't want to go much higher than that. So while I make the straight line across with my neck stretched like this, when I put my neck down, then it kind of naturally has that look where it goes up at the side. So there you go, that's what it looks like. Now all I have to do is clean it up. You can kind of go against the grain. But be very careful that you don't bite into your already cut neckline. Now, Brio does make a zero guard, okay? You might want to look into getting one of these. All right? I took this off before I showed you how I did it. Okay, so here's your Brio Beardscape. All you gotta do is to put your zero guard on. This is what it looks like, zero guard. You just take this, push your thumb against the teeth like this, push it off, and you take the zero guard, and you take the bottom of it, has a little notch right there, you stick it in the little notch. Let's see if I can get this turned around here. Just like this. I hope that shows up all right in the video. And just push it in like that. Now you got your zero guard on. There's no adjusting at all whatsoever. This is a good thing to use to clean up. And really at that, I almost don't even need to use a razor at that point. Now, you might be wondering what I do about the sides right here. If I was growing a longer beard, I wouldn't do anything with them. I'd let them do whatever they want to do basically. But what I'll do here is I'm going to snap this zero guard back off. I'm going to put my regular guard back on. All right. I think I'm not doing a very good job of showing you how I do that. It's just kind of hard to finagle myself. All right, so what I do is I put the edge, depends on what side of the face I'm going to do first, the edge of the trimmer underneath the ear, like right here. I try to line it up with that. I'll show you what I'm talking about. And then I just go straight down. Okay? Just right here like this. Then do the same thing on the other side. I gotta make sure I'm not at an angle when I'm doing it. Just try to go straight down. You gotta look in the mirror and make sure you're going straight down. And that pretty much satisfies it. I mean, there wasn't hardly anything to take off there. But I got it. Okay, so now you might be wondering about the mustache. The mustache. I probably make my mustache a little bit shorter than a lot of people like. But I like to have it just above the lip a little bit, just a little bit. Some people don't like that. Some people like to have the mustache grown completely over. But when you have a shorter beard, you don't want the mustache taking over the face. All right, so personally, I like it a little cleaned up. So I'm just gonna take the trimmer and just kind of start the center of the mustache and sweep away. And actually the zero guard would be good for the mustache trim. But I have found the regular guard to be adequate. There's that. Now, here's something that might surprise you. I'm going to take down some of the bulk of the mustache with a 5mm. So I had 15 on the goatee area, 6 on the side, then 3, then 2, then 1 as I graduated up. But for the mustache, I'm going to take their 5mm guard, which, you know, a lot of beard trimmers don't even have a 5mm guard. Brio does offer that, by the way. So I take the 5mm guard, I pop that on here. This is 4 on one side and 5 on the other. And I just kind of go down, I just kind of rake in front of the mustache. Because it's really hard to do a downward motion like this. You can, but it's really hard to do it on the mustache. Okay, so you don't even have to do it in that order. You can do this before you trim the lip line if you want to. In fact, after you get done doing that, You probably want to go back and revisit your lip line. Let me take my boar bristle brush. Looks pretty good. I see a few hairs sticking out. And you know, the other thing too is when you're trimming your mustache, you don't want to do this like that. You don't want to stretch the skin around it. Look as natural as possible when you look in the mirror. Because that's how people are going to see you. Okay, so that's that. So that's basically it. Now, the only other thing left to do is really to clean up the cheek line. If you have the zero guard, the best thing to do is to put that sucker on, and you can trim the cheek line that way if you want to. I try to just, put my finger right there to keep it, to kind of create a guard, and just go like this. It does a pretty good job of cleaning that up. And then you can kind of go in, hairs kind of are hard. The hairs at the top of the mustache underneath the nose are really hard to get. So you can kind of take this in and kind of nick some of those off. Be careful though. You won't cut yourself, but you don't want to dig into the mustache. That's pretty good. And then what I'll do is I'll kind of go up here at the top and make sure they don't have any hairs sticking out up here by the ear. And then maybe come down a little bit. Kind of just stroke it at the top, like that. And then, there you go. Now, what I will do, while I still have the zero guard on, it doesn't matter if I have the zero guard on, the other guard, it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna go along the beard. I'm gonna look sideways into the mirror and this way so I can see what hairs are sticking out. And I'm gonna try to clean it up that way. And just whatever's sticking out, I'm just gonna freehand it after that. And that will give it a more cleaned up appearance. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of lay the plate more or less against the beard, the back side of the plate. You don't want the teeth making contact with the beard. You want the plate to lay down on the top of the beard with the teeth sticking out just a little bit. So like this with the grain. Remember, keep your face as natural looking as you can when you're doing this. I mean, it's almost hard. It's almost kind of hard not to stretch your face out in different places. Do it here. And even though I used a 15 millimeter here and then a 6 millimeter here, you can't see any steps. That's because I went in like this with the teeth. So there is no graduation and steps there. Not really a whole lot left to do. Now the next day you might come back, look at your beard, and you might see something sticking out you don't like. You can hit it then. But don't go crazy every day and do that. I see the shape that my beard is, and I try to keep it that way. I don't try to make any new shapes. And that's pretty much as clean as this is going to get right there. Seems like there's something else I was going to tell you. You could, while you're at it, with this regular guard put back on the trimmer, you could take the 6 millimeter guard. Some of you already know what I'm going to say, right? You could take the 6mm guard and hit your eyebrows like this. Against the grain. That cleans them up. Take my boar bristle brush, get that like that. Okay, let me think, is there anything I'm missing other than beard oil? Here's one thing I will tell you. A lot of guys like to shave this area right here and this area right here to create like this little square or rectangle. I think that's so weird looking. The only way I can see doing that is if you had one spot that was just naturally bare and then you kind of wanted to match things up. I could see doing that, but I don't know, to cut shapes and designs into your beard like that that's not natural and that grows back normally, quickly, is just fruitless. So, you know, yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't do it. You can do it if you want. It's just a matter of opinion. But there you go. I have no hair on my sink. It's all in my beard bib. So then you can just take this, you can take the suction cups off and just let it all just fall into the waste can. I'm gonna take this part off right here and just leave it here and I'll get it when I get done making the video. But the only thing left right now is to put beard oil in. I'm going to be using Artiest Man's Autumn Spice beard oil because it's autumn, right? Perfect. Smells so good. This stuff is wonderful. And they even have beard butter and beard balm that you're going to want to check out. Artiest Man, they've been around for a while. I've been with them since I've been making videos and they're really good. So you don't need much of the beard this short, like maybe two little drops. So 1, 2, maybe a little more. Okay. I know I did like 3 or 4, but that's because I wasn't pinching it hard enough. So anyway, man, that smells like the holidays. Very cinnamon, very fall-like. And there you go. I'm gonna look at it from side to side. Yeah, I think the neckline looks good. There we go, there's my left side, my right side. I wouldn't have wanted to go any higher with it. No higher. But listen, if you work in the office, this is gonna be a good length. I do see a couple hairs sticking out now. See, this is what happens. I didn't comb my beard out after I put beard oil in. That's probably why. You know, sometimes you can go over something, 3 or 4 times. I still see something sticking out and it drives me nuts. Here, forgive me. I've got to get these. Listen, even I'm susceptible to beard ruination if I'm not careful. So, regulate yourself. Lay down some ground rules for yourself when it comes to trimming beards. Like, I'm not going to trim away flyaways, after the 2nd or 3rd day. I'll trim my beard once a week. I'm gonna do very little. Because you can't just keep approaching it every day. But I think this is a good length. What do you think, guys? Was this helpful? Will you use it? Let me know what your results were. All right. I do appreciate you watching. Listen, like I said, check the description down below. I will have links for the products and you can avail yourself of those. And I would love to hear your results. Okay, I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great one.